good, Leo? I'm gonna do a reading for you for the remainder of April. I'm a little late to it, but it's all good, right? I know the full moon's coming up as well. I'm planning to do a full moon reading, but I'll ask about that as well. See, while we're at it, might as well see if there's any messages. But this is pretty much for the rest of April, right? Any message that wants to come through, anything that the spirit world feels you should know, right? So let's see. I don't know. I felt like I was kind of pushing that card. So any message for Leo? Anything the spirit world wants Leo to know? Yeah, I should have just taken that card, but I don't know, like three, four cards that came out, so I was like, um, I don't know. Okay, let me one more time because I don't like. I know that card jumped out, but you know, it didn't completely jump out, right? I'm very like, okay, this one did. All right, so Sekhmet, bravery, right? Which is funny because that kind of goes with the whole, the lion, right? Like the lion and the Wizard of Oz that wanted courage and all that stuff, right? So Sekhmet, right? Bravery. Sekhmet, bravery. Sekhmet is the Egyptian goddess of war, wraith, and healing. She breathes fire, and her hot breath represents the fierce desert winds. She is both a bringer of plagues and a goddess of healing. One Sekhmet became so enraged with humanity that she decided to slaughter them all. Her fury terrified the other gods, so Ra was sent to stop her. He poured out a beer mixed with pomegranate juice to resemble blood in her path. She drank herself into a stupor, and upon awakening, her rage had lifted. Sekhmet is usually depicted as a lioness or woman with a lion's head crowned with a solar disk, encircled with an upright cobra. Meaning, you have the fierceness of a lion inside of you. Wow, okay, so this was perfect for Leo, right? You have the fierceness of a lion inside of you. Let Sekhmet inspire you to utilize your strength, power, and bravery. Use your heartfelt intensity to empower both yourself and those around you. There are people, ideas, and projects that will greatly benefit from your leadership and example. Be confident in your abilities, and you'll shift the current chaos into a sacred and protected space. Wow. So that's beautiful, right? And this one came right under. I'm not gonna read it, but Scotty Wild Heart, right? So I don't know, maybe at this time they're asking you to trust your heart, right? To kind of just let those passions run free, right? Trust that intuition, right? Trust that intuitive nudge, right? So I don't know. That's kind of what I'm getting. So I don't know. I didn't want to have to read that one, but I'm sure she'll come out on another reading. It's funny. My clock says 10:10, and that's not that actual time, right? It's a little off, so that's funny that I looked up. Maybe 10:10 means something to you. 10:10. All right, so I'm gonna read. I'm gonna pull some tarot cards real quick, and then I'll do get a wisdom of the elders, and then that'll be it. So, any message for Leo for the remainder of April? Anything they should know, or for this full moon energy? Anything for Leo? For Leo the Lion. Man, I don't know why these cards feel so slippery today. All right. Your fellow fire sign, temperance first. So alchemy, balance, healing, right? What did it say about Sekhmet, right? Balance, healing, transformation, patience, options, moderation. Maybe you need to sit in the dark for a little bit, right? 14, right? 14, 1 and 4 is 5, so change, right? Maybe you're going through some changes. Any other message for Leo? Uh-oh, the devil. So have you been in your head about some stuff? Capricorn energy. Toxic attachment, fixated karmic ties, temptation, lies, illusions, control freak. Wow. So is this your energy? Are you lying to yourself? Or is it a connection that you have? So it's important right now to know if we just came out of the retrograde too. So do you feel like, yeah, let's clarify the devil then. Let's clarify the devil. Oof. Wow. Queen of Wands, Aries. Is that the devil for you right now? Two Aries. Wow. Look at that. Ambition, business leader, natural lover, organizer, business, confident, sexy. Are you, what is it about this Aries, right? Because two of Wands look at planning, moving forward, options, progression, travel, discovery, partnership. So what is it? I don't get it. Cause what is it? Cause this doesn't seem bad, right? But what is it about? Why did the devil come out? What's the illusion then? What are the lies? Education, religion, spiritual guidance, tradition, marriage, teacher, advice. There's the five again. Man, this is kind of confusing right now. The devil. That devil just has me confused. Okay. Okay. Clarify the devil. I need a kind of clearer answer because maybe like knowledge is what's holding you back. It's weird. It's almost like if, man. All right. Let me see. I'm confused now. All right, Leo, you had to be. This is the last reading I'm doing tonight, and you had to make it complicated, right? You had to be like Avril Lavigne and make things complicated. If you guys aren't familiar with that song, look it up. Maybe there's something in that for you, the complicated song. King of Swords, mean, calculated, ruthless, intellectual, planner, stubborn, logical, authoritative. What is it? What is it? Man, I almost feel like I just want to start this reading over because hopefully it's making sense to you, right? Are you in this energy? Are you overthinking something? And maybe there's certain differences that you're just not. Is that the devil? Maybe there's something good and you're just not. You're you're being in that devil energy, right? You're trying to. That's kind of what I'm getting. That's the way it's making sense now, right? That Maybe you're overthinking things, right? Or it's like someone that's looking for something that's wrong. See, it's like someone that's like, hmm, being a little too logical. Let's see. Maybe this deck has, because this deck is not being very, not giving me a whole lot of answers right now. Man, this is the only reading I've done for these April readings that it's kind of giving me a hard time. Let's see. All right, so what is it with this situation with Leo? What is it with this devil and this Aries, possibly an Aries? The devil, huh? Let's see. What is this? God the Eternal 4-4. High Priestess. Wow. Success protection from magistrates. Is there something in the energy? Is there an outside force messing with you? The High Priestess. Maybe that's why the Hierophant came on. They're asking you to maybe trust in something's casting an illusion. It could be, and maybe that's why even the Hierophant, right? Like maybe you already know something. The High Priestess. Maybe something's trying to keep you from a connection. Such a strange reading, right? But I mean, hey, that's the real stuff, right? That's when it's real, right? When look at that, the lovely God, Seven of Pentacles, someone holding a light, right? Discernment, general prosperity, the deliverance of prisoners. Maybe you've been a prisoner. You know the original devil, right? That's what it is. The two, right? They're in chains, but they're really not. It's more like they're keeping themselves there, right? So maybe you've been imprisoning yourself in something or whatever, you know? Obviously, if you're someone that's spiritual, then you know that other things do exist, right? And something's been messing with you in the dark, right? Fixated. Wow, that says a lot, right? Something that's fixated on you. Casting illusions. What a strange reading because the energy is weird, right? But all right, let me just do one more. Any last message for Leo? Because this was interesting. Wow. Pahalaya, Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups. God the Redeemer. Redemption serves against enemies of religion, governs chastity. God the Redeemer. Queen of Cups. Maybe there's been something that will be redeemed, right? And the fact that it says against serves against enemies. Maybe there has been something, right? Like something that's weird, right? Like I don't know. I haven't really gotten that with any of the other readings, right? Where there was like this outside, the average normal stuff, right? Like, oh, someone broke your heart, oh, this or that, but something spiritual like this where I don't know. So weird. What were the other two that the wild heart, huh? Maybe that's why bravery came out, because you had to be brave to be going through all this. Hopefully this is man, well, yeah. Maybe it's something you gotta discern for this April, right? If it hasn't happened already. And it's crazy because Easter, right? Like I've never even followed these religions, but in the past, it's crazy because I am someone that's always followed the spiritual path. And weird things would happen to me like on Easter, right? And I thought, why on that day out of all days, right? Like, well, it was clearly like an outside influence. So that's so funny that, so I would say just be careful this month, especially that, right? Let's say it looks like if there's a good connection, don't let it be dissuaded by an outside force, right? Or something spiritual that you can't see. So, I mean, look at it like a test, I guess. Wow, this was such a strange reading. All right, Leo, thanks for. Wow, you can make this bravery again. Look at that with the wisdom of the elders. Whew. All right, so be brave, whatever you're going through. Damn. There's this thing from that movie Braveheart where, I think they asked, Mel Gibson where he's going, and he's like, I'm going to pick a fight. And then his friend, he looks at the other guy and he goes, well, we didn't get dressed for nothing, right? Like, well, hey. So it kind of feels like that. Hey, well, you didn't get dressed for nothing, right? Like, whatever's going on, I know your ancestors are with you and everything, right? So you're not alone, right? God is with you, even, right? In these other, right? God the Redeemer, right? Serves against enemies of religion. The other one said serves against enemies as well. I mean, religion, I'm sure the person that, right, they have obviously a bias in favor of religion. So just take it as that, right? Your beliefs, your spirituality, right? The enemies against that, right? The enemies of truth and light and this and that. Hopefully that's the path you're on, right? But the bear, right? The bear is a very powerful ally for protection, for healing, for all that, right? So let me just read this because I think I made this way too long. And then, yeah, that's crazy though. Wow, this was an interesting reading. You know, well, I mean, these are the kind of. I guess this is something that that should be like the reasons, right, to do readings and stuff to just because sometimes you may feel confused and you don't understand that there really is something going on that you don't understand, and that's what it is, right? So three, bravery, bear. In the Anishinaabe language, bravery means the state of having a fearless heart, which means that we must be brave to do what is right regardless of the consequences. It is often easier to remain silent when we see something is unjust, as it can be difficult to speak up for fear of retaliation. Bravery is the gift that bear provides to us. Although these animals are gentle by nature, the ferociousness of a mother bear when one of her cubs is approached epitomizes the teaching of bravery. Bear is courageous and teaches us to have the mental and moral strength to overcome the fears that prevent us from fully engaging with this specific sacred grandfather teaching. It is a challenge that must be faced with the same level of strength and intensity as a mother bear protecting her cub. Bear shows us we should face our challenges with ferocity, even when it is difficult to do so. Bravery is the sacred teaching that is given and revealed when it is needed the most. When we stand up and do what is right, we demonstrate bravery. If you have drawn this card today, you are being called to exhibit bravery in your own life. You may be asked to embody the courage of bear or speak out against what is wrong. This is an opportunity to take on a challenge that might scare you. Embracing bravery will allow you to release your fears, and you can trust that the rewards are worth the risk. So there it is. Maybe that's what it's been, right? Maybe you knew something was wrong and, right, for fear. And it literally feels like that, right? Like you're going up against the devil itself, right? Like, so yeah, that's interesting, right? So I'll just end it there because I don't want to confuse you more. I'll do another, right? Like I said, I'll do a full moon reading for the collective. This was pretty interesting. So I don't know. I feel weird, right? I don't want to feel like I left you incomplete with something, right? But it feels like there's something going on that right. I think the Hierophant, the High Priestess, it feels more spiritual in nature, right? I can't quite put my finger on it, but all right, I'm gonna put one more card just to see. Oh man, let me pull one more card just to see what else goes on here, right? We got spoiled today, Leo, because I didn't do this for anybody else, right? I guess that's what it is. It's gonna take willpower, right? Something, I don't know. It's like burning everything to the ground, walking away. Something had you in your head, right? So maybe, yeah, it could have been, in this case, maybe the devil is, you could take it how it resonates, right? Obviously. But in this case, it could be something that's, maybe you're being your worst enemy in a way, right? You're keeping yourself stuck. Well, really, at the end of the day, that's what the devil is in the tarot anyways, right? In the Rider Waite, it's the illusion of, oh, you're trapped, but really the chains are loose. All you got to do is throw them off, right? The devil really never had power over you. All he did was whisper in your ear, right? Like, hey, this, that, right? It's like being tempted, right? Like having a good thing, right? Like being in a good situation and then something whispering, like, hey, don't you want to do that or this or that? And you have to have the willpower to be like, nah, that's not worth it. Like, boom, I'm good. And anything, right? Anything, being at a job and something whispers, oh, I remember when I was working at this job and, they would catch people stealing and that would blow my mind because, like, damn, you know what I mean? Like, it was a good job. So, it would, like, was it worth it to steal that stuff? You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. So, on that note, I'll leave it there. Um, yeah, I'll leave it there. Hopefully it resonated or not. Either way, right? Maybe you just watched it for entertainment. It's all good. I don't blame you. Um, so click like, leave me a comment if it did resonate, right? Okay. Hope all is well. Peace.